Hey everybody, this is Tyson
And Logan.
and you're listening to Dad Bods Beards podcast. It's a show that gives you a fresh look on being a father, a husband, and honestly a man being in today's world.
For people who want to have a good time, laugh, and be uplifted, thanks for subscribing and listening. Now for the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to Dad Bods and Beards. Today's episode is going to be a special one, but before we get to that, we want to talk to you about our sponsor for today's episode, Bucked Up. If you go on buckedup.com and use code DADBODS, you can get anything for 20% off on their website.
Today, I really want to just kind of go on some tangents.
Yeah.
Because just kind of like we've been so serious for so long that I'm just like, let's have some fun. Let's talk about messages that we're getting from people. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about people, what people have actually said to us in person, how my feelings have been hurt.
Yeah.
But also some really cool opportunities. I think that a lot of people don't know that's happening, and I'm really looking forward to it. And
so kind of like a little bit of like a recap, like how things are going, both positive and negative.
Yeah. Well, I think positive 100%. Like we were talking about yesterday, like on my Instagram page where I was talking about it's mindset as we grow.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's like, who is that going to offend? I'm like, it's not going to offend your friends because your friends have your back. Yeah. But you're only going to offend those who are not growing with you.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that through Copper Johns and through other things. As I'm growing, your friends do change because some will just leave you. And you'll gain more friends. Like, we're gaining a lot of cool friends right now.
Well, we noticed, we thought when we started this and we started doing like collaborating, because like my social media page was a little bit larger, and then we started growing Dad. No, I'm not gonna be like, well, I technically have 486,000. We're like, no, like when we started collaborating, we thought there would be a lot of crossover of a lot of our existing followers from like Copper Johns and my side to like mesh into the Dad Bods and Beards followers.
And mine too now.
And then I was like, Tyson, you need to create your own page so that when I'm collaborating with you, like there's, you've become your own personality too on social media. And we were realizing looking the other day, like there's really not a lot of crossover. So there's actually like 4 different, almost like, I don't want to call it a fan base, but like 4 different follower bases. And there is some crossover, like a lot of our friends that are that kind of all started on the Copper John side, that started following me because we got connected, and then they supported us in Dad Bods, and now they support you. But the advice I keep giving you, because you like, just like everybody else, I do this too, is like you kind of we talk ourselves down, right? Like, you look at something, you're super critical, but like that's the whole thing with social media that I've learned in the last 2.5 years is like the more authentic you are, 2 things are going to happen. 1, you're going to feel better about your own content and you're going to find your people. And 2, you're going to piss off some people because authenticity sometimes bothers people who are like the furthest thing from it. So I enjoy the content that you're starting to put out. I feel like I'm like a little mama bird watching you like find your wings. So it's fun.
Well, no, so I've realized this. First, I'm a lot more serious.
Sure.
And but that's who I am right now. Like, I really find positivity, and talking about that. Yeah. It's impactful to me, so I want to do the same thing. So I'm doing all these, like I go to the gym, I listen to these podcasts, I don't listen to music, and I just sit here and I'm like, ooh, that's good. And then I start thinking about it. I'm like, oh, what did I just come up with? And then I want to share with it to everyone. And there's nothing new. It's just my take on a lot of things that have already been done. But then I think something's funny and I'll do it. And sometimes it works. But that one where I made where you and I are expecting our first child.
Yeah. But see, I told you, I was like, I'm super proud of you, because it's like, I'm a big believer in like appropriate self-deprecating humor. I'm a big believer in taking away the humor that bullies are going to use against you, because then it's like, what are you going to do? Like, you can't make fun of me for like, if I literally don't feel insecure about this and you make that same joke that I know you're going to make, and I made it first and I made it funnier, like, what are you going to say? What's the most common thing that people say when 2 guys, especially 2 adult men, are really close friends? Oh, that's super gay. So we make the content we do in a funny way because it takes that away.
Well, it takes down barriers and makes everything okay.
Exactly. And then at the same time, it's like, I told you this, like, and we'll get to the story I know you're going to tell, is it's like someone thinks that they're playing checkers and like, oh, I gotcha. I'm like, well, we're over here playing chess. Like we get the fact that it's polarizing. We get the fact that it can be, uncomfortable. But at the same time, think of the people who find joy in that. Think of the people who find like solidarity, or people who find, they kind of see themselves in that, or they realize that like, yes, two men can be very close friends, but still be like, have very happy home lives and stuff, and it not be this weird, overly sexualized thing that it has to be, oh, they're gay. Like, no, we're just two buddies that are very extremely comfortable with each other that make polarizing jokes because it works on social media and people laugh and enjoy themselves.
The thing is I don't think what we're doing is offensive. I mean, people find it offensive. I get that. But at the same time, I'm like, we're trying to, I wouldn't say normalize, but accept.
Yeah. 100%.
And I want everyone who follows Copper John's, Logan, Dad Bods Beards, Tyson, I want them to feel they're loved, that they're accepted, and that we have their backs. Yeah. Because we do. And I mean, there's sometimes where people ask for money, and I'm just like, we can't, because we're not in that place where we can. Yeah. Like, we're not making money right now.
We had one of those the other day, and it
broke my heart that we couldn't help.
It is heartbreaking. I got the response of like, or I got the message, and it was forwarded to me like, oh, how do we want to respond to this? I'm asking you, how do we respond to this? Because it was one of the first messages we ever got, and it's like, I wish that question came, in a year.
Yeah.
Because then it'd be like, all day. We'll do everything we can to help. Well, we've talked about 100 different ways we want to do like outreach.
Well, things. And I want to, like I told you, I want to create a charity, where it's where we can help those who are less fortunate in paying their bills, or how, as long as they're trying to do their best, we're going to help cover that.
Yeah,
that's my goal. Is I want to do all that kind of stuff, and so it was heartbreaking that we can't help someone who is in need. But that's what I want them to feel. I want them to feel like they can come to us. I really do. And so it's hard when someone like that actually really does need that financial help, and we just can't.
Yeah.
And but with that being said, because of our content, sometimes it does ruffle for some feathers.
Oh yeah.
And like I was in church on Sunday, and a few people just really, really like who I love and respect, and I still do, where I'm not going to name names, because if they're listening, I don't want them to ever be embarrassed to be around me, because I still love them.
Yeah.
That's
respectful.
Yeah. It's just, they come up to me and just like, I thought you were a good Christian boy, or, I thought you were better than this. Or those are two. Or where's your gay friend? What you're creating is not okay. That's not a good representative of your faith and stuff like that. And it really hurt me. And I'm like,
yeah,
if you listen to any type of church leader, and I'm not talking about just my religion, like but everyone's religions, it's about love.
Should be.
It's about acceptance. It's about being kind. It's about not judging. And I truly believe that. I'm getting chills.
I know. I can see you get little goosebumps.
Because I really believe that. I believe that no matter who you are, no matter what religion you are loved.
Sure.
And that you should be cared for, and you should have that security.
Yeah.
And I am all about that. Mm-hmm. And it's not okay for people to feel that way. And I feel like it's a cultural thing. It's not a church thing.
Yeah.
And I think we're breaking barriers, and I don't think we're not the pioneers of this by any means. I think we're helping bring to light that all of us are struggling. Mm-hmm. All of us are going through things, but we all deserve to feel loved.
Yeah.
We all deserve to have a sense of belonging. And no matter what you believe in, no matter your gender identity, no matter what it is, your sexuality, you deserve it. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be loved. And I feel like that's Christ-like.
Yeah.
And
I like that.
I'm here for that.
And I like that. I like that you're saying the way you are, because that's the point, is that some of the content we make, I mean, it's literally, it's not even 50-50 because we make a lot of other funny content that has nothing to do with that. And we make a lot of content that has a lot to do with, word clips of the podcast. It's intended to be funny and to break down barriers and to bring people in with humor and to kind of bring people in of like, oh, these guys seem fun.
Yeah.
And they seem inviting and they seem energetic. And then it's like, okay, we got you in with the funny. Now we're going to sit down and we're going to have a really tough conversation about your mental health. Now we're going to talk about marriage. Now we're going to talk a little bit about finances. Now we're going to talk a little bit about just everyday struggles that come with parenting. So it's like we're trying to be both sides of a positive coin, right? And unfortunately, you're gonna ruffle the feathers of people who maybe have an insecurity, or they maybe have something that they feel like they need to work on, or they maybe at their core feel like something is wrong. I realize that everything we do is not going to be for everybody, but in their mind. But what I want to do is I want to project something with Dad Bods and Beards that, like, this is something that we are intending for everybody. This is a place where, regardless of what religion you subscribe to, or what lifestyle you have, or whatever, like I've said this before and I'll say it again, is we have so much more in common just as human beings than the media and everything else wants us to believe.
Well, what sells?
So, well, yeah, division,
anger, division,
yeah.
Gossip, sex, things that are that's what sells.
Yeah.
And so if it doesn't push their narrative, they're not going to push it. They're not going to accept it, and so it's really, really hard.
But I'll say is like the jokes that we make, right? Whatever. The reality is that, like, this will kind of segue right into what happened yesterday with my little boy. We make these jokes, we make these content or whatever, but a super scary situation happened yesterday. And one of the first phone calls I make after talking to my wife and talking to my brother was you, and then sending a text to you and Tommy together to ask for, like, thoughts and prayers, because I'm at work and I'm stopping to just grab a little bite to eat, and I get a phone call from my wife. My wife works at my kid's school and she's a full-time kindergarten aide. And so to get a call from her at like 2:00 in the afternoon is really weird because she's at school, like she can't,
you knew something was wrong.
So I answer the phone. She's like out of breath. She's like freaking out. And she tells me that my son was on the playground, bumped into another kid. And mind you, this kid is the son of a former NFL lineman. So you can imagine how big this kid is. Super sweethearted kid. They just collided, and my kid's the little one. And Elliot falls back, literally square cracks his head right on the concrete. And teacher runs over to, he's in first grade. Teacher runs over to kind of pick him up, and he collapses in her arms. And he's like unconscious. His eyes roll back in his head. She scoops him up, starts running him to the office. They call from my wife over the intercom. They're like, Chelsea Peterson, come to the office immediately, over and over and over. She's freaking out. Paramedics are on their way. I get this phone call that my son like fell, smacked his head, passed out at school. Paramedics are on their way. I've got my truck with a big old gooseneck trailer, and I flew there. Like I'm not proud of probably some of the red lights that I ran, but I've got, the emergency beacons on my truck for construction, and I hit those things, and I was flying through there because I didn't know, because I'm getting like, jumbled phone calls and texts from my wife as she's trying to figure out what's going on. The teacher, everyone's sobbing because this 6-year-old just literally collapsed after smacking his head. I don't know what's really going on. I call you, and I'm calling, texting you and Tommy. And that's the point of what I'm saying is, like, we make these jokes and we joke about our close friendship, but at the end of the day, there's only going to be a very small handful of people I'm going to call in an emergency situation. And it's not that I needed you to do anything. It's like I was freaking out, and I couldn't freak out to my wife because she was starting to kind of lose her composure, rightfully so. She's looking at her little boy, unresponsive pretty much. And she's freaking out to me, and I'm telling her it's going to be okay. It's going to be all right. I'm on my way. So to have my freak out, I call my brother, who I work with my brother, and I say, hey, I got to go. And he's like, hey, let me know what you need, whatever. And then I'm calling you on the way down there because, like, I need just to like kind of get some stuff out. It's my boy. It's my little boy. And anyways, I'm not going to get all choked up. Everything's fine. Okay if you Everything's do. Fine.
Tell the story though.
He checks out.
Yeah, I was like, no. I was like, tell everyone that he's okay because
he checks. Yeah, so checks out. He's fine. Clear of any concussions. kid's head is in the 99th percentile, so that saved his bacon.
So him and I are a lot alike.
He's got a big old dome.
No hats will ever fit him unless it's one of those.
He literally, as a 6-year-old, he wears like the teenage size hats. But anyway, so take him to the doctor, do a follow up, passes all the tests, no concussion, whatever, which is like crazy that he hit his head that hard and he has no concussion. But the funny thing is, I'm like beside myself, and you're checking on me periodically. Tommy's checking on me, and all of a sudden I get a random text from some number. Your DoorDash whatever is on the way. And I instantly knew, I'm like, freaking Tyson. So if you guys don't know this, Tyson's love language is gift giving. Multiple. The amount of DoorDashes that I have gotten from you over the years because something has happened.
Well, you're gonna have to tell him what the other DoorDash.
Yeah, I'll get. This is the second DoorDash in 1 week.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll have to cut this video into this segment for the clip, but Tyson DoorDashed a pack of Krispy Kreme donuts to my boy, and he's laying there on the couch. He's had a day. He's not out of it, but he's just laying there watching. I think he's just watching like Big City Green or something like that. And I was like, buddy, Tyson sent you donuts. And he's like, what? So then this is where the best part is that he's my boy. Because the ending of the video, I'm like, buddy, say thank you to Tyson. He's like, thank you, Tyson. I love you. I'm like, oh, that's my kid.
It was cute too.
But
it made my day.
And then Chelsea, of course, loved that. She thought it was adorable that you'd send, because I read on the note, it says, Elliot, hope you feel better. And I'm like, thanks for sending donuts. And you're like, those are for Elliot. Like reassuring, like,
I really did
don't
say that.
eat his donuts, Logan.
I really did say that.
And then flip side, the little boy who knocked him over, the boy that he collided with, his mom felt super bad. She like dropping off a treat. Other neighbors are like dropping off treats. And my daughter's over here like, I mean, should I pass out?
She said that.
She's like kind of upset. She's like, well, I guess I have to pass out to get the treats. But anyway, so Elliot's fine. He's good. We had him sleep. We don't really have the kids ever sleep in our bed. But last night,
But did they say why he passed out at all?
No, I mean,
bizarre.
the teacher said that the crack that she heard. I mean, you can like. It's
amazing he doesn't have a concussion or anything.
I know. So I guess he hit his head, and then he tried to stand up, and she had gotten there by the time he stood up, and he like just collapsed in her arms. And then I guess she was
glad she caught him, so he didn't.
Yeah. So she and my wife are friends because my wife works there, and so she was messaging back and forth with my wife saying that like. Anyways, his teacher was like hyperventilating, like just in shock that she literally had to carry this little lifeless,
scary,
this little lifeless 6-year-old to the office. Like,
and it's traumatizing to your wife.
So we had him sleep in our bed last night, and then like every 30 minutes, we're like, Elliot, okay, he's good, but he's fine.
I know how that feels.
Funny thing, okay, now the other DoorDash for the week. So I have had some tummy problems, and. Which is not uncommon for me. Apparently, I've got tummy. You guys have all heard the hernia story from last Christmas.
Oh, yeah, how you hung on the tractor and it popped out? Ugh.
So this last week, I was backed up farther than a Chick-fil-A drive-thru on a Monday morning. You know what I mean? Like, everyone's been waiting all Sunday for Chick-fil-A. Anyways, I could not go for a couple days. Might be TMI. We've talked about worse things on here. Anyways, TMI friendship, I text you like, oh, hey, I finally went. And I was joking. I was like, I named him Logan Jr. Anyways, so Tyson's like, congratulations. And he DoorDashes me a Jamba Juice that's basically with like gut health stuff in it or whatever.
Yeah, nice.
It just was like, I'm just like, this is the weirdest and best friendship I think I've ever had. That I can text.
Congratulations on your baby.
Yeah,
that's what I put on the note.
That I could text my best friend like, hey, I'm not having constipation issues anymore, and you like DoorDash me a treat. And I'm like, my wife was like, you guys are so weird. But on top of that, the other DoorDashes is like, either me and Chelsea were sick at the same time a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And you like literally DoorDashed like freaking $75 worth of pizza so we didn't have to worry about dinner one night. And the one time I tried to DoorDash you something back, I sent it to the wrong address.
Somebody
got a whole bunch of really good crumble cookies. Anyways, the point in sharing all of that is that like, we realized that like not everybody has. I mean, we didn't even have this type of I had it with one other buddy my entire life until the last couple of years ago. And I know we tout this all the time, and that but we really think that like there is so much more fulfillment and so much like a better side of life when you can find somebody outside of maybe, you know, a marriage or a relationship or a partnership that you can be like your most authentic self with, and that like you can share the funny TMI stuff with, but you can also call in a crisis moment and you know that they're going to be there for you. So like I mean, like Sean said last week, dude, like I know for a fact that if I had to call you at 2 a.m. because something happened, like you'd probably be one of the first ones there.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing, you know, same thing for you. Like, I mean, even Tommy, I texted Tommy. Tommy's like, hey, I'm over just in this area. Let me know if you need me to watch, you know, watch your kids or whatever. Like, so it's just, it's just like the fellowship, the solidarity, the camaraderie of like, I've got your back if you need someone to have your back. Like that means a lot to me. And then just following it up with like, hey, I'm thinking about you. Hey, I'm thinking about your boy. Like, dude, the donuts freaking made Elliot's whole night.
I'm glad.
And then he was like, can I have one? I'm like, buddy, you got to have dinner first. And then so.
No, I'm glad. Yeah, I only sent 3 because I'm like, no, these are for Elliot.
Yeah. Like well, Liv had one.
As she should.
Yeah, she had one. And then there was one left. I didn't eat it. I looked at it very intensely. But I left it. Because then I would have been like, Chelsea had been like, did you eat the last donut? And then you would have been like, you ate his last donut? So I just left it.
You would have been dead to me.
I bought myself a donut on the way here.
And
yeah. So
no, but this isn't going to be a long podcast, but I just really just wanted people to understand that there is a purpose for why we do what we do, and it's not for recognition. It's nothing for like that. It really is. I want more people to see this because I want them to know that they're loved and that they feel seen.
Yeah, because
it's important to me. It really, really is. Like I love communicating with people, and that's why we're going to get better with Patreon. Like it's a purposeful thing. I'm going to be working on it this week. Last week I was just, dude, I made so much stuff for Coppertons. It was just like nonstop. And but I'm grateful for it. There's so much good things happening that it's just with all the bad that's going on, because there's some bad stuff that's going on in my life right now, and it's really, really hard. Like Isaac's takes millions of dollars from me every day.
Yeah.
I wish I had $1 million. No, I'm just joking. But there's some things that are really struggling right now for me and Candace and financially. And but I'm grateful for the opportunities that we have, and I'm grateful for a healthy family. Like I don't know if did we talk about I think we did. We talked about like my experience with doing the breathing.
Yeah, we talked about that with Sean.
Yeah, and just like the realizing that I have a healthy family, that I have a family that I love and they love me back. It's just that's all that matters.
Well, that's literally the whole point of this podcast, right? This is the whole point why we started this, was to just help people see that like you don't have to be this 6-pack polished, you know, like 7-figure a year social media icon type person to be able to have a like fulfilling, happy life. Because we all have, I mean, if we sat here between me, you, and Tommy, and we just sat here and had like a wine session and talked about all the different things that are really like,
I was thinking about wine.
Yeah, one of those, like a wine session. I was going to use the B word, but I realized we have a clean rating. Just kind of like, like a complaint session, talk about all the different like real life situations that we are going through right now, that like we could sit here and relate to so many more people that much more, but like we're not going to focus on that. The point of the podcast is to talk about real issues that we have done, and real issues and real things that we have worked through to improve ourselves, and just trying to like pay that forward. Like literally at the end of the day, you are a father of 6 kids and you have an amazing wife of 20 plus years, and you have a full-time job, and you are trying to start a business. And then I am a father of 2 with my amazing wife of 11 years. And I work 60 hours a week helping my brother run an excavation company. And you've struggled with mental health issues. I've struggled with mental health issues. And there's so many things that just make us regular dudes. And I'm glad that society is getting to the point where podcasts like this and social media platforms like this are starting to be elevated above the fake.
Yeah.
Because this is what I feel is what people need. We need the relatability. We need the solidarity. We need things that you can connect with on a real level. So.
In the name.
Shut up. But no, but that's to then turn around and talk about the good things. Like it's overwhelming right now what's happening with Dad Bods and Beards. the connections that we were making with certain friends, the opportunities. Like we literally got texted on the way here about like, hey, we're going to be having this big event. We want you guys to speak at it. And it like blew my mind.
Which, by the way, we need to ask him to be on. We're talking about Bronson Kafusi. I don't think it's
he's a former football player. So
played for the Jets and Ravens.
Yeah.
Was that?
I don't know. I'm a Niners fan. I don't care about anybody else. Just kidding. But that's the thing is like, it's rewarding to see. And I don't think it's a boasting thing to be like, hey, we're at this point because what we have to say and the people who have helped us along this way are benefiting from it. And then it's a double-edged sword in a good way of like, this has improved my life so much. Mm-hmm. This has improved your life a lot. And I'm like, does it take a lot of work? Absolutely. Like just on the back end, like everything that Tommy has to do and his son Caden that's helping like produce this, and then the social media side, and then like the messages, and same thing. Like we launched Patreon probably a little too early because we launched it and never even used it before. And now I'm realizing like, okay, crap, we got to launch Discord with it too, so that we can all chat together. I'm like, oh, now we're going to be doing something that Tommy came up with called Aftercast, where we're going to be showing, little clips of what we thought about the episode that you can only get it if you're going to Patreon. So there's just so much to do, but it's so fulfilling that it's worth the time.
Yeah. And luckily, those members who have joined Patreon already are understanding and but at the same time, we do need to continue to grow. And as yesterday I said, evolution happens with all of us, and we continue to grow and become better every day.
But just like we said, geez, what, a year ago when we were staring down the barrel of getting to this point, like I literally feel like we're at the next stage of like be ready, you guys, because YouTube's gonna start getting big for us. Like we got some big stuff coming for the Dad Bods and Beards YouTube. The Patreon's gonna start getting huge. We're gonna start the second round of merch drop, where we're going to have a bunch of new merch items. It's going to be more than just the logo. That was just to kind of kick it off. And we're going to start doing some, we've talked about doing some live events, that'll be live also / virtual. Like here's my goosebump moment. I'm like, this is what we wanted and it's all to just benefit everybody who's a part of our community. And I freaking love this. So
me too.
I hope it doesn't ever come across like we're freaking boasting of like, oh my gosh, look what we're doing. Like it's more so kind of like we want everyone to be like, you're doing this with us. Like we want you guys to realize that you're part of this. So, are you asleep? You're like, shut up.
No, I have nothing left to add.
So, but this has been like just a quick little fun episode. I mean,
this next episode that we're going to be recording is going to be intense.
Yeah. So this one that we've got coming on next week for you guys, it's going to be kicking off Suicide Prevention Month, which is September, and we've got a very special guest, which is a first time thing happening on Dad Bods and Beards. Is we're going to have her name is Danny, and she's going to be in studio here talking with us about her husband Denny. And how he lost his battle with suicide in 2019. So stay tuned. Next week is going to be a very, very heartfelt and deep episode talking about something that is very, very important to be, I guess, aware of at all times. So,
because we all know someone, who has lost their life because of it,
and not just, I have like positive anxiety about it because I know there's going to be a lot of hit close to home moments. But just thank you guys. We literally couldn't do any of this without you guys. This is unbelievable where we're at and where things are going. So stay tuned. We've got so much more to offer you guys, and we love you.
I will remember you. Thank you so much for listening, guys. It means the world to us. If you have a chance, please give us a 5-star review, as well as write something a little pretty in there so that we know that you know that we know that you care. Anyway, have a great day, guys. I can't do it.
Dude, that was good. I like that. You can't redo it without laughing. That was good.